Okay, I do want to take a look here. So the cool thing about Rakano is that there's a lot of variations that you can do. You can do Oni Samurai, which I would never put in the deck. District Infantry are big. Oni Ronin are big. Crown Watch Paladins are big. Highland Sharpshooters, Crown Breakers. Other ones that you'll see is Rakano Champion, the Champion. You'll see Whirling Duel. You'll see Valkyrie Enforcer, Smugglers. You'll see a lot in the market. There's a lot of variations to it. Different levels of Vanquisher Blades and Vanquish. So this is the deck I've been running. I would probably remove Paladin at this point in favor of champions. I've also seen recently going down to 3 like this and adding 2 finest hours, which is what I'm going to probably do. Valkyrie and Force, so the reason for that is the units are just coming in too late. You want a couple more combat tricks in your deck, so that's why you would add in the extra finest hours. Vanquishes aren't as necessary if you have the Vanquisher's Blades. Vanquisher's Blades have triple roll, as opposed to Vanquishes which only have a single roll, which is huge. So I prefer to run 4 Vanquisher's Blades rather than 4 Vanquishes. 2 Ornate Katanas, Warhelm, and Sharpshooter are necessary in this deck. I don't run Crests. It's been suggested, and we've gone back and forth about that several times. I took the Crests out. As I post, definitely. I think that this is similar to what I would have posted. I put the District Infantry back in because if you get these turn 1, they're doing upwards of 9 damage by turn 3. Or by turn 4, potentially, if they don't remove them. They're also good kind of like draws for early removal. So that you can get in something like a Crown Breaker or a Sharpshooter to do additional damage. I keep Boar in here still. I don't know if it's as necessary given the decks that are running. I mean, Teacher of Humility is the biggest thing you'll have to Boar, and that's really not that big of a thing. So I might suggest like putting Avigroff potentially back in there. Elder's Feather to help with the flying. Adjudicator's Gavel to help with Reanimator. Obliterate, and Deep Forge for throwing Deep Forge on top of Smuggler. I would say Smuggler is necessary. I play Oni Ronin for the Warcry. I want to get the Warcry off as soon as possible, so I play the Oni Ronin turn 1, and then hopefully like we'll throw in like 2 districts or something turn 2. It is kind of like the more likely that what happens is you have to choose between them and then like play Crown Breaker turn 2, and then maybe like Sharpshooter and Helm turn 3. But Shugo Standards kind of add some later game abilities. I have the Shugo Standards, so I don't include the Crown Watch Standard that's typically found in the market. Yeah. I mean, one thing I might do actually is this. Like, I might go to 4 champions. Champions are just really strong if you can get the dual influences out. I would always pull Sharpshooter Helm, turn 3. Sharpshooter Helm with the ability does so much more. You want to be able to add the charge to someone. You want to add the Warcry to someone, and now you've got what is it? 1-0. So you've got someone coming in with +4/+2 as well. If you can get that off turn 3, then you have likely won the game. I've won, for instance, like pulling a Valkyrie Enforcer at that point. So additional things I've seen people run are Inquisitor Blades. I don't like to run those. They're a little bit too late for me, and I hate getting them in the starting hand. I play Ornate Katana, and I'll play it earlier than later if I feel like my hand is just not that good. Torches and Finest Hours are necessary. people play around these cards now. Like, I've seen Rakano Aggro that don't include these. Like, for instance, Finest Hours. People play specifically to counter a Finest Hour and are making blocking decisions based on that and stuff. So I'll do the post on Eternal Warcry later though. I need to update that big time. Yeah, so I did drop the Battle Mage and I dropped the Paladin specifically because the Paladin's kind of like specifically I use the Paladin as a weapon holder. I've got other units that are better weapon holders. Same with the Battle Mage. Yeah, big guy in black. I agree with that. I would say, so what I would do is I would drop the Enforcers for Inquisitor Blades. Like, I've seen a lot of decks run Inquisitor Blades instead of Enforcers, where Enforcers right now are kind of like my Inquisitor Blades. I've seen decks that run both, but usually what you'll see is Valkyrie Enforcers instead of Inquisitor Blades or Inquisitor Blades instead of Valkyrie Enforcers. So, I don't know. I like the silence of Valkyrie Enforcers too much. They can get rid of flyers. And I find those to be better for me usually, especially since I'm trying to stay early with the deck. We'll run one right now. Let's take a look. How much longer do I have on this? Got 2 hours remaining. We're doing just fine. Well, I'll throw this in. We'll take a look at what this looks like. Here, I'll play like 3 games. So the big thing with anything like we were talking about is all these decks are probability based, and they're probability based both with what cards you'll be able to draw into, but also how well they'll do against other decks. So I think that's the biggest thing why I don't really get too tilted. I get more tilted at mistakes than I do at like losing or winning. So that'll work. So turn 1 District Infantry. I'll probably turn 2 Sharpshooter.
Stand aside.
Depending on what I draw, though. See, I don't know if I would have permafrosted that. So what I'll do is I'll do a turn 2 Sharpshooter here. In my turn. If they don't drop a unit, I'll probably find this hour the Sharpshooter and attack to make sure that I could get a big buffed unit. We're going to Nightfall. Silence tonight. Okay. So I'll go wide here.
Rakano's weapons died with honor.
I'm going to attack with both. Quick draw, I don't need to worry about anything going on there. In fact, but I do want to get the Warcraft. Thank you for letting me know.
Halt!
Hey! Woo, you have nothing to apologize for. Taking on the real work. Lots of Nightfalls. Did not expect to see this much night. So I'm just going to draw here. I'll play that at the end of this turn. I'm going to get the Warcraft. I'm going to prefer to Finest Hour this, though. I'm gonna let that resolve.
Stand aside.
We played some Sealed, and then Cracked Atlas had some questions regarding Rakano Aggro, so I wanted to show them kind of how I play it. So I'm gonna... So, some options here. What I'm likely gonna do is throw the Vanquisher's Blade onto the Enforcer next turn. And Finest Hour this turn. Because if I throw, what, 6? I'm not going to get there this turn. So I'm going to wait just in case I need the Vanquish. And see what happens here. Okay. Play all power. We'll do that then. Something's... The District Infantry is going to die here. That's just the reality. We want it to. Kill off this Nocturnal Creeper. Yep. And I am going to Finest Hour that. Okay, there's the bounce. Okay.
Rakano's weapons unmatched.
My turn. That was a good outcome.
Find solace in the darkness.
I need to make sure not to vanquish my own units here. I'm going to throw the Vanquisher's Blade on one of these quick draw units to protect them.
Let's dance.
I do want to play out the power. So I don't vanquish my own units. I saw that. I saw that. All hail the king. They got another bounce card, I think. Yeah, they're gonna get rid of the vanquish.
My life for Argenport.
Okay. That's a problem.
Make no sound.
So what we need to pull is an Obliterate. Because they're going to be gaining back life no matter what. Unfortunately. So unless I pull out an Obliterate, unless I pull out my Smuggler and get Obliterate, I'm just going to keep losing. So we'll go wide here. I didn't want to attack with my Whirling Duo. And I'll save that power. Trying to draw for answers here, though. This has been a good deck and a good game, quite honestly. This makes me think they're going to kill me. Can they do that? I think they've got a combat trick they're trying to win with. They do. They got something here.
Something catch your eye.
I can win. Need that obliterate. The obliterate is extremely important here. Although I don't think if I can even win with it now. There it is. 6, 8. No. Do I pull a Deep Forge instead? The problem is I don't have the Overwhelm. And they got the Deadly. Oh, here we go. What we're going to do is send this back. We're going to grab the Feather. We're going to Warhelm and Feather. And that should do it. There we go. There was the answer we were looking for. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The market has a lot of answers. It really does. And you just kind of have to trust that something's there. And there is a best play. It's always nice to do like high damage and things, but with that Deadly where it was and things like that, I didn't feel confident throwing out the Hojin and winning. The lifesteal would be nice to keep me alive longer, but I really needed to be aggressive and just try and win. Plus, they weren't removing flyers there, Cracked Atlas. And so for me, since they weren't removing flyers, it really was an indication didn't have so much removal. They just had those bounces earlier, and they weren't using any new ones. So this would be bad because it's all coming in depleted. No turn 1 play. This is much stronger. This will give us a turn 1. It'll give us a turn 2 and then a turn 3. But I would say the draw is probably the most important part of this whole entire deck. So we get that Warcry off. We're going to get the Sharpshooter out. My turn. We'll get out the Whirling Duo next. Attack for 8. Hopefully. Okay. In fact, what I'm going to do is Warhelm, I think. I need to think about that. So I can Whirling Duo or I can Warhelm. And the reason why I would do the Warhelm is because of the strength. I don't want to use both combat tricks for this. I'm just gonna do this.
Follow my lead.
If they like try and torch it, sure. I'm not so worried about making a huge dude. I'm trying to spread my answers out a little bit. I don't want to like get too aggressive there.
Swords, sharp and true.
See, that's really good.
Die with honor.
Like, if they had like a Vanquish, that would remove all of that. I mean, anything Vanquish, a what is it? Defiance, like those sort of cards just wreck that. And I'll play one more. And I don't know. Like, I'm under the impression that there is ways to increase your probability, but I would say this deck just comes back to just intuition. I mean, this is like, this looks like a strong hand because you've got the turn 1, the turn 2, and turn 3 power. The problem is, or turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 power. The problem is you've only got 2 units, and both are kind of like meh. This is somewhat stronger. So if you get into this situation, you want to play the banner first every time. You want to always play the depleted banner. So that next turn you could play the champion, and then hopefully turn 3 play a sharpshooter into the warhelm. But this will give that champion +2 health and endurance.
Rakano's
So we're just
weapons
hoping
unmatched.
for a power here. If we don't get a power, we'll play the sharpshooter anyways. Yep. Attack first.
Drives them back.
We got the Vanquish available too. So if they drop a Vera, we're just gonna let them buff that.
Swords, sharp and true.
Okay. I'm gonna clear the path, and I'm going to Warhelm.
Follow my lead. Charge!
Just maintain board control here. I'm still searching for that answer, so I'm kind of like in this precarious position. I need 1 power. The answer for power is what I'm talking about.
Only the best for you.
So I'm still going to get off the war cry here. Unfortunately, I'm going to likely trade. Let's see. Maybe they'll let me get the war cry off and not trade here. Or
Charge! Finish them! Drives them back.
so what the big thing with this deck is the renowns. You're always thinking about finding ways to, like, I don't have a way to trigger these renowns right now, which kind of sucks.
Bound by our own.
What the heck is going on?
Bound by our own.
How? How do you have all these? See, now I got this smuggler with charge, double damage, and war cry. Now I just gotta put feather on it and I'll be good. We're gonna end my turn there.
Never stop, never break.
Wow, this is interesting. This is what happens when you get to the end of a month. This is the sort of stuff that starts happening. People are just like, I'm gonna play something so different than what's in the meta. Sorry.
I will have justice.
Okay, my turn. ECQ deck. Was it an ECQ deck? Really? Or are you talking about my deck? Ugh. They got like a torch finest hour, I think. Yeah.
Finish them.
Oh, it's not the one. Thank you.
Finest weapons in Lyria.
What do you have? Why? Oh.
Light.
I prefer month and wackiness too. This is a lot of fun. Huh. I didn't know. I'm not really happy with how this game's going. I just can't believe they got 2 of them. 3 of them in the same hand. I mean, I can believe it, but can I? I'm thinking they have like another display of ambition potentially. That's my guess.
Trust in the light.
I'll take the hand clap. Anybody got a hand clap for me for that one? That's pretty good, I think.
Swords, sharp and true.
Never stop, never break.
Killing that.
A fine battle.
Just cuz. Jeez. Yeah. This is just out there.
I will have justice.
Okay, I got a finest hour now, so I can at least do something. I gotta kill this one, I think, next.
Take up arms.
I'm out of vanquishes. Yeah, come hang out in Discord. Discord just got posted. I put out a lot of updates in Discord. I was communicating while I was out and about, doing all sorts of things. I also have a streaming channel, so if you want to just hang out while I'm streaming and listen to me stream, unfortunately it's muted for everyone else. If you prefer that instead of tuning in via the sound of this, you can do that as well. I don't know if anybody would ever take me up on that, but I thought it was cool. We're gonna finest hour and block down. Why? Because I said so. I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I lose this game if I do anything here. I want to keep the I want to keep the torch available. I've only drawn one power. I kind of want more. Can I have more power, please? We'll go back to the sealed games after this. Crack, did that kind of help you out a little bit? Any of this stuff? What did that do? I think you win, Jose Carlos. Yep. And it just depends on what you're looking for.